everyone. So many of you probably know that I have launched my crystal mediumship certification course called Lightwalker, and part of the training that I'll be bringing people through is learning how to open the Akashic Records, how to connect with the Akashic Records and open the Akashic Records through crystals, working with crystals. And you can do that work for another being, you can do that work for yourself, but you can also open up the records of the crystals themselves. And so that's what I'm doing today. I've already worked with my selenite to bring me up, and the Akashic Channeling that I'm going to do today is through the records of Apophyllite. And as I said, I'm already there. I'm probably already looking like sort of in an altered state because I am. So I'm just going to close my eyes here and see what comes through the Akashic record of Apophyllite. And immediately what's coming through is that Apophyllite is a crystal of truth. It's a seeker of truth. It's a seeker of information. This is the gateway. This is the access point that it opens, and it finds its way into the keeping of people who are pure of heart, and who have souls that are guiding them on the light path, that are guiding them on the healing path or the path of truth. And they're saying, this isn't limited to mystics, or seekers or spiritual sages or gurus. This could also be scientists. Science, the purpose of science is to seek out the truth. It's to search for truth. And establish truth. It's also a crystal of teachers, and speaks to the soul of teachers in this way. It's a Lightbringer. It connects with sources of light from other galaxies, other places. Our truth is not limited to ourselves or our perspective, our planet, our experiences, our intentions. Truth in and of itself, they're saying, is really a discussion. It's really a conversation. It's really an experience. But the purity of it they're saying, is in the soul. It's the light of the soul. And this is what Apophyllite connects with so deeply and powerfully, emits and channels. They're saying this is one of the reasons why Apophyllite is a crystal that's highly beneficial to be in your healing space, in the room of a child, in a space, even in your own bedroom where you're sleeping, where you're resting, you're restoring, because it emits this pure light energy of consciousness, of truth, of healing, of returning to self. They're saying that healing ultimately is about returning to self, returning to the purity or truth of self. And they're saying this is why so many of us now are seeking out authenticity, or seeking out truth, are speaking out for truth and for sovereignty, because we're seeking to come back to our light being and our light selves. And this is something that Apophyllite helps to activate in us. And they're saying this is also why Apophyllite is a crystal in the kingdom, in the crystalline kingdom, that does not, or mineral kingdom, that does not require clearing, energy clearing per se. It can be depleted if you're working with it a lot and needs to be recharged, replenished, brought back up to its, pure vibration of frequency. But it doesn't need to be cleared, because there's no transference, there's no possibility of bringing lower harmful frequencies into the purity and light of truth. And so they're saying, for those of you out there who are soul seekers, who are seeking out more, who are seeking out the light, who wish to embody and ground that and gender that in the planet, for each other, but are also looking for lives that are bearable, for ways of living that are lighter, that are more joyful, that feel more free or liberated. You may feel called to Apophyllite at this time. They're saying this word kin is coming through. There's a kinship. There's a kinship between light workers and Apophyllite for this reason. High beings or divine beings of light. And this is how Apophyllite also creates a bridge. It creates to being a bridge to beings of light, beings of consciousness, teachers, healers of higher dimensional frequencies who may at one time have been incarnate, may have not. On the human plane, we refer to these as ascended masters, but the bringers of truth and light. And so for those of you who are seekers, who are seeking out truth, who are seeking out light, Apophyllite is a crystal to work with now, to connect with now, to open up these bridges of expansiveness and frequency. And then I also just saw this image of two swans kind of meeting in the middle and creating this heart shape. And so I'm asking, through Apophyllite and Apophyllite's record, why we're being shown that. And because they're saying the true love, the greatest love is with the self. And they're saying we're taught this. We can even accept this as, an ideal, as a thought in our minds. But to experience it is truly glorious, to be one with the beloved and the beloved self. And they're saying intensive work with Apophyllite in terms of I'm seeing sleep. I'm seeing like a larger piece in your room, sleeping with it night after night, like intensive exposure to its energy, to its light rays, can help you start coming into a more beloved experience with self and connection with self, because they're saying that our lack of love for self is something that's easily twisted, it's easily manipulated, it's an easy in for the shadow, and it's caused great harm for us on the planet in so many ways, mentally, emotionally, as well as physically and spiritually. And so they're saying to start undoing that work, to start undoing that connection and that conditioning, is through this connection of the Lightbringer of truth. And I'm, gosh, you know what? I feel like I could go on for an hour in terms of things that it's showing me in terms of data that can be accessed in the Akashic Records through Apophyllite, through the Apophyllite frequencies. So they're saying, to connect through the stones the way I do, and then holding the Apophyllite almost creates like a bridge, almost creates like a flashlight or something, but it's a pointer. It's a pointer to different levels of information. So if there are things that I'm seeking out in terms of my soul, my purpose, why I've been sent here, how I can uplift, things that can nurture me on a soul level, that can help me move forward on my path. Questions I have, whether I feel lost, whether I feel guidance, they're saying through the Akashic Records and through the Apophyllite Soul Connector, I can connect with specific information that can be helpful to me at this time, as well as receiving certain downloads that may seem encoded at first, but as they begin to work their way through my consciousness, through the Apophyllite energy, they begin to make more sense. So I'm going to wrap up there because as those of you who watch my channelings, I never have any real kind of sense of time when I'm doing this work, and it's always longer than what I think. So I'm still gonna have to come back down out of the records, but I'm gonna wrap up this channeling here. So some beautiful information shared with us from Apophyllite, from this beautiful crystal in its Akashic Records, and from the guides in the Akashic Records. So if that thrilled any of you, if that spoke to any of you, I would love to teach you how to do this. I really would, love to help you break through to your next level of greatness and join with me and the beautiful community that's already here joined in our program. So definitely check that out if it speaks to you. The link will be in the description or in my profile, and I'll also definitely share with you more of this work because I think it matters. And I think it's beautiful. So if that resonated for you at all, please feel free to share that in the comments. And I'll be back to share more with you later. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Thank you for holding space for me. And thank you for subscribing to this channel. I feel terrifically blessed to share in this light. So thank you and blessings to all of you.